Previously on the last Pokémon Crystal challenge run. Apparently today he is smelly, and coming up, I'm definitely a breast guy myself. Welcome along to 4 moves. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon, we give it 4 moves that it can learn in Generation 2, and we see just how long it takes to defeat Red. This is a hybrid of the Supermon challenge and the classic timed challenges. So we can use Hidden Power and Return, but we are setting our 4 moves at the beginning of the challenge, and today we are going to be running STANTLER. It is Christmas Day on time of release, so I think it's only fitting that we run the reindeer. So let's now get the graphics on screen and we can take a look at our learn set. We actually have a fairly good learn set for STANTLER. We get some very important moves. We get Return, of course, because it's not banned in this series. We get Earthquake and we get Psychic. So I think that combined with Hidden Power will give us a very strong chance of getting through this challenge. The thing that held STANTLER back before in our classic challenges is the fact that the level up learn set is not that good. We have to wait until we get Headbutt after Bugsy in order to have a very good attacking move. And of course we'd be relying on Tackle for the start of the challenge, and Tackle isn't that good, especially in Generation 2, where it's only 35 base power and 95% accurate. We are also going to have a much easier time at a trainer like Morty, because we'll have Earthquake to deal with the ghost types, and that does then free up our Hidden Power slot to focus on Claire and Lance. I've been umming and eyeing about either Hidden Power Fire or Hidden Power Ice on this challenge, and I've gone for Hidden Power Ice in the end. That is because I think we'll be able to brute force our way through Jasmine using Earthquake, so that then gives us a slot available for focusing on Claire and Lance. So with all that explanation out of the way, let us get our 4 moves. The first move we will get is going to be our best move later on in the challenge. It's going to be Return. The second move we will get will be Earthquake or Psychic, whichever I can see in the list first. The third move is, of course, going to be the other one of those two. In this case, it's going to be Psychic. And then our fourth move is going to be Hidden Power. I'm not sure how often we'll be using Hidden Power in this challenge, but I think it's a very handy move to have. And with that, we'll take a look at our stats. We are level 5 with 23 HP, holding a berry with Hidden Power Ice, Return, Earthquake and Psychic, 16 in attack, 12 in defense, 15 in special attack, 13 in special defense, and 15 in speed. And with the intro out of the way, we can get the challenge started. The timer automatically starts as soon as we cross that threshold out of Professor Elm's laboratory, and it will only stop when we're not making inputs and at the Hall of Fame. We get our final time when we defeat Red, and that's all you really need to know about these challenges. Now, first and foremost, a very, very Merry Christmas, everybody. This should be coming out on Christmas Day, if my timings are correct, and I thought it would be very nice to give the old Rudolph Stantler another outing, but this time in our brand new 4 moves format. And I think this is the format where Stantler is going to shine. Stantler, of course, struggles in the traditional challenge run, and that's what 4 moves is all about. I know a few people are a little bit confused by 4 moves. It is really a series to try and make some of those Pokemon that don't have a good time have a chance to shine and get a little bit more positive attention throughout the course of their challenge. Now, I really hope this doesn't come across as a Christmas Day call out, because it really genuinely isn't, but I did have a comment from somebody who got a little bit confused and a little bit upset by the fact that we have so many series here on the channel, so I hope that does clear things up along with the comments that I responded to. I try to make everything as clear as possible, but I'm one of those people, I don't like having just one series because I will get bored, so I do mix things up quite a lot. And to be fair, the only thing with a very, very big difference is Supermon. Everything else is just a variant of the time challenge, and all of the series have that purpose in mind. So 4 moves, like I mentioned, is there to give a chance to some of the weaker Pokemon to shine. Supermon is there for the powerhouses to really show off their brute force. The time challenge is there to get a library and an archive of every single Pokemon's run. And then we are going to be venturing into Generation 3 next year as well. And we're going to be doing our traditional classic timed challenges on the brand new Generation 3 challenge run bases. There are still a few things we need to clean up in those bases, but they are functionally complete in terms of at least a basic challenge run. We don't have anything like HM items or guaranteed HM friends yet, but I'm sure they will come in due course. Now, as for the Stantler challenge, I think it's going to be a little bit of a slog, a little bit of a slow start, and until we get return at a fairly decent base power. Once we get return up to a good power, I think that's when we'll start accelerating. Unfortunately for us though, Stantler is in the slow experience group, so that means these levels are very, very thin on the ground. In terms of coverage, we've got an awful lot of gut coverage here. Having Ice, Ground, Normal and Psychic means there is nothing that won't take at least neutral damage throughout the course of this challenge, so we'll have nothing resisted whatsoever. And that in and of itself will save a lot of time throughout the course of this particular 4 moves challenge. One thing that isn't saving a lot of time though is all of these random encounters. Just like in our previous challenge with Celebi, we seem to have had a very, very high encounter seed here, but we can now make it into our first gym together. This is a flying type gym, and we have hidden power ice, and we have fairly good special attack, so I think we'll be in the clear. One thing actually I always am surprised about with Stantler is just how nippy it is. I expect it to be around about the same speed as Ursaring, but I suppose if it's got to deliver presents all across the world in less than 24 hours, it's got to be fairly quick. This is Falconer, by the way, our first gym leader, flying type specialist, led with Pidgey. 1 shot on the Pidgey, 2 shot on the Pidgeotto. We grow to level 10 and we obtain the Zephyr badge in 4 minutes and 48 seconds. That means we can get out of here. We'll get the call from Professor Elm, and because we are running on the challenge run patch, instead of getting the egg, we are going to be getting the key escape rope from Professor Elm's aid. And now as we are making our way towards the Union Cave, there is something else to do with that comment that I received that I do want to address. And again, I hope this doesn't come across as a call out, and I hope it doesn't come across as overly negative, because I promise you it isn't. But that comment did compare me to another challenge runner in Scott, and I really have to set a boundary. I don't like any kind of comparisons at all to other challenge runners. I suffer really badly from imposter syndrome when I do these challenge runs. Even now, 3 and a bit years in, I'm being compared to something, especially when you say somebody else does something in a better way. It does make me very, very uncomfortable and kind of makes me seize up a little bit mentally. So I would appreciate it if nobody did that in future. I appreciate it's not really the kind of thing that you would expect somebody to say, but that really is a boundary I would like to set for the channel. Just so that way I don't get uncomfortable and don't get scared reading the comments sections, because you all know me. Underneath the kind of very calm surface, I am a bag of nerves inside. It's kind of like a swan swimming on a lake. On the surface it looks all cool, calm and collected, but underneath everything is going like the absolute clappers. And now we are through the other side of the cave and into Azalea Town. The first thing we do here is have a little chat with Kurt. We're going to do a cursory PP heal at the same time, and then we'll buy some stuff in the Pokemart. It might be Christmas Day, but we are giving the Pokemart clerks presents instead of getting presents ourselves. I decided against the gift lock this year. I want to give it a rest because I want to try and recode it to make it a little bit more stable and maybe mix things up a little bit as well. I will undoubtedly, though, be playing some gift locks on stream throughout the course of next year. And now, after beating up the last couple of grunts here in the Slowpoke Well, we can take on the final one. It's a one-shot on the Coughing with Psychic. Kurt's back miraculously heals itself. It's a Christmas miracle, I say. And we can move in to our second gym. And now our second gym is a bug-type gym. That makes me incredibly glad, actually, that we aren't part Psychic type. This is one of very few places that Girafarig actually struggles in the Generation 2 Challenge Run. It's one of the few places where Stantler has the leg up over Girafarig. So I think we should be in for a fairly easy ride here. We're still probably not going to be able to use Return as much as we would like, but we can still get through fairly easily. We'll use a Hidden Power here on this Paras, and I think actually we're going to go for a PP heal, because we only have 2 Psychics left. So we can save the PP heal after Bugsy and just do it before, and we will take him on now. Bugsy is our second gym leader together today, a bug-type specialist who leads with Metapod. Now, we don't quite one-shot the Metapod, but we can finish it off with a Hidden Power. Out comes the Kakuna. Psychic is, of course, super effective, and that brings us on to Scyther. We critical hit, so we one-shot it away with Hidden Power Ice, and we obtain the Hive Badge in 10 minutes and 48 seconds. We can't celebrate for too long though, the dreaded Rival 2 is just around the corner. This time he's going to lead with Ghastly. We'll use Psychic and we'll make it go away. We'll do exactly the same against the Zubat. We grow to level 18 and the final Pokemon is Croconaw. I reckon 2 hits with Earthquake will be enough to knock it out, and we have defeated the rival for a second time. That does of course mean we can make our way into the Ilex Forest, where the first thing we need to do is reunite this bird with its human. And now that we have saved Christmas for the Charcoal Maker, we will get the Scythe. We also get the Cut HM, but we're not able to learn any HMs at all here in the 4 moves challenge. We'll stick on another Repel, and we can make our way out of the forest. We'll have a little wave to the green-haired man staring at the tree there. We'll pick up our pair of Ethers, and then we'll take on a couple of trainers en route to Goldenrod. I think the more levels we get earlier on, the better. We want to be able to have a decent powered return. At the moment, it's only 51 base power, and that just isn't strong enough for our purposes. There you can see the Wild Abra. That is normally the guaranteed HM friend encounter, but of course we cannot catch anything here on 4 moves. We'll take care of Specsavers while we're en route up to Goldenrod, and now we can make our base here and get everything that we need to do sorted. And so the first thing we need to do is grab the bicycle. That will allow us to move in double quick speed. I always pick up the bicycle on my challenges. I don't see any reason not to. The second destination is the Goldenrod Underground. Let's see how much Earthquake does against the Slowpoke. It one-shots. Perfect. I was not expecting that, I've got to be honest. I thought it would be a 2-shot. How about this Super Nerd Tiru? He is the reason we go into the Underground early as well in our old Classic Time challenges, because he has 4 Pokemon, and quite often 4 PP makes the difference between needing to Pokemon Center heal and not during the Radio Tower section. So if we can get him out of the way now, it's even better for us. We'll also grab the coin case. That will allow us to get the Rental Abra, and we'll take on this final Super Nerd to get us up to level 20. He's got a pair of Grimer, we've got a pair of Earthquake, and I think that means we get the guaranteed win. We'll pop out on the correct side of the Underground. We'll have a little chat with the lady. She will give us a rental Abra, and we don't need to use it to get to the Pokemon Center this time, but we need to do a very quick PP heal once more in order to take our trip north out of Goldenrod towards Floria. Now, we don't need anything in the National Park today, so it is just a quick cycle through. We've got a couple more trainers to take on before heading back to Goldenrod City, where we will be taking on Whitney. I do love that the Abra line has such poor defences, because it is a very, very good source of special stat experience, and in Generation 2, special stat experience counts for both your special attack and your special defense. So not only are we getting a lot of brilliant offensive stat experience by taking on the Abra line, we're also getting the equivalent in our defensive stats, which means we might be able to withstand 1 or 2 more hits later on if we take enough Pokemon on with very high special attack. But now we're already into our 3rd gym together. This is Whitney's normal type gym. She's only got 1 mandatory trainer in last carry. We take her out and we'll move on to Whitney. She is our 3rd gym leader together today. Normal type specialist, of course, leads with Clefairy. We 2-shot the Clefairy and she gets a super effective metronome to be a little bit rude. And we can move on to the Miltank. She's locked herself into rollout. As long as she doesn't crit, we have the win. And we defeat Whitney to obtain our 3rd badge in 16 minutes and 9 seconds. Let us now get out of here. I'm sure Whitney's very, very annoyed that we've ruined her Christmas day. We'll have a little chat with Floria and the eavesdropping so-and-so. We get the Squirts bottle, and before we head north, we are going to have a little chat with the Pokemon Center lady to heal up our PP again. And it's just as well that we get our PP healed up by her, because we've got a long way to go until our next Pokemon Center. Our next Pokemon Center isn't going to be until Olivine City. We'll grab the big hammer from the man who's very happy that we've cleared off the Sudowoodo, and we are going to make a very, very quick bypass of Ecruteak, because we are doing the fast Ecruteak strategy. Once again, I've forgotten to stick on a repel here, and once again I have been punished for it. I do want to see how much we do against this Corsola. It's got a lot of physical defense, and we one-shot, of course we one-shot, growing up to level 23 there. We do need to get the Minceberry from the Moo Moo farm. We'll get the Cowpoo Nugget as well, and we'll take on some further trainers as we're heading towards the lighthouse. And while we're heading towards the lighthouse, I am curious, it's Christmas Day now as this video comes out. What do you do for Christmas dinner if you celebrate Christmas? And if you don't celebrate Christmas, what do you do if there's a big celebration day every year and you have a celebratory meal? For me, I've always been a turkey guy. I came from a turkey family, not a Turkish family, but a turkey family. And we have turkey mash, skinless sausages of all things, normally the Richmond variety, some mash, some roast potatoes, fried breadcrumbs, which are absolutely divine, unhealthy as anything, but it's Christmas, so I treat myself. A few carrots, a little bit of broccoli, and I am then satiated for about 2 hours before I crack open either the chocolate on the few days of the year I'm allowing myself chocolate these days, or more likely the turkey sandwiches. I'm one of those weird people. I prefer brown bread over white bread, so I will be getting possibly a seeded loaf for my turkey sandwiches this year. But I am very, very curious to find out what other people do for not only their Christmas dinners, but any kind of celebratory dinner at all, because I lived under a rock for many, many years, so I don't know what other people do. I don't know if my family's weird having all of that stuff, or if it is just tradition all across the world. And of course, if you don't celebrate Christmas, I still do want to wish you a very happy holiday season and a very happy end to 2025. I cannot believe how quickly this year has flown by. It really does feel like it was just a couple of days ago that we were in January, starting our plans for the year that, of course, will fall apart. But there is that saying, isn't there? The best laid plans of mice and men often go astray, and that is very, very much the case with pretty much everything I do. I'm very, very non-committal with my plans. I like being very flexible, and sometimes that gets me into hot water. Other times it ends up with some very good ideas actually coming out of my brain. And now we are at the very, very tippy top of the lighthouse. We'll have a little chat with Jasmine. We'll go easy on her for now, considering it is Christmas, but she'd better watch out. If she causes any nonsense at all with her Steelix, she is going on the naughty list. We do another quick PP heal here in the Olivine Pokémon Center, and then we take the very quick cycle back to Ecruteak City, taking on Birdkeeper Toby en route. He's got 3 Doduo. These are very good for our physical attacking stat experience, and we also gain a level getting up to level 26. And now that we are through the gate, we can make our way into the Burnt Tower. We need to stick on a rappel here to make sure we don't get any wild encounters, and we are going to engage the rival in his 3rd and middle battle. This time he's going to lead with Haunter. We've got Earthquake, we've got a lot of physical attack, it goes down in 1. Magnemite's quad weak, so it goes away as well. We'll swap to Hidden Power for the Zubat, and then the last Pokemon is going to be Croconaw. Return is starting to get a little bit more useful now. It's up to 63 base power, so it was a 2-shot there on the Croconaw. We can now fall through the floor, release the beast, and we got in to our next gym. And our next gym is Maltese Dual Ghost and Poison type Spectacular Gym. We are going to hold on to the Mint Berry for a little bit of insurance here, and we will take him on. I don't think we're going to take a reset, and I don't think we're going to get sent to sleep, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. The plan here is to just spam Earthquake. That should be enough to get us through the entire gym. Yet we do outspeed the Gengar there. We probably wouldn't have done though if we didn't do early Lighthouse. That gets us the Fog Badge in 23 minutes and 11 seconds, and we can now go into the Kimono Girls Dance Theatre to try and get our raft. The raft will be helping us cross all of the water we need to in the course of this challenge. There are 5 Kimono Girls, and I don't think any of them are going to prove to be problematic in this particular challenge. This is another trainer where I am very glad that we are not part Psychic type. I am annoyed as well though actually that Weirdeer became a normal Psychic type Pokemon, taking a little bit of the spotlight away from the Girafarig line, and then for no good reason they gave Girafarig an evolution in the very next set of games. So we've gone from very few normal Psychic type Pokemon to an overload of normal Psychic types. Let us now get the raft from the man staring at the stage, and we'll keep on heading east towards the Lake of Rage. And now, as always, on the way up to the lake, we are going to take on a few optional trainers. There are actually some very, very good experience points on offer if you know which trainers to target and which ones to avoid like the plague. This Slowbro, for instance, is a very, very strong experience, and we do get the call from the bike shop. Just as I was about to say, we need to cross onto the lake to take on the Gyarados. It's another red Gyarados this time. There is a 1 in 8,192 chance of that Gyarados being blue, but it's still not happened to us. We'll have a little chat with Lance now, and we will risk the extra steps through the grass, and this time we do not get punished, so we save a repel, save a little bit of menuing, and save a little bit of text afterwards. Here at the Lake of Rage, we are still going to grab the Hidden Power TM. Even though we can't learn it, we can sell it, and the more we can sell, the more vitamins we can buy. The more vitamins we can buy, the quicker returns power increases. So let us now have a little chat with the meditating man, get ourselves Hidden Power, we will leave and we'll teleport all the way back to Olivine City, where we'll do a quick heal in case we get any encounters in the sea, and we can prep for our 5th gym together. Here in Cianwood City, we are going to make our base in the Pokémon Center. We're going to make sure that we pick up the secret potion from the man in the dodgy shop, and we can go in to Chuck's gym. I am not too worried about this gym in this particular instance because we have Psychic on the learn set. So even though this is the only gym where we have a true type disadvantage, I don't think we're going to be caused too many issues, neither by the gym trainers themselves nor by Chuck. The only trouble with this gym is there are so many blooming mandatory trainers. Chuck has decided that every single trainer in his gym needs to be battled. We're going to try and clear up some bag space as well by using up the potions and the berries. That way they are still getting used and they're not wasted, but they are going to be removed from the bag. Black Belt Lung here is our final gym trainer before we take on Chuck himself, and it's a clean sweep there. That makes me feel quite confident as we now take on Chuck. Our 5th gym leader together today, a fighting type specialist, leads with Primeape. We're going to go for Psychic here. We get the Spadef drop on the Primeape, but he did get a Leer off on us. We're going to use Psychic against the Poliwrath. Dynamic Punch has missed. We grow to level 33, and we defeat Chuck. That gets us a Storm Badge in 28 minutes and 13 seconds. We'll have a little chat with Chuck's wife, and now we've got a little bit of housekeeping to get on with. And now as we're doing the housekeeping, I can't get my mind off food. Talking about Christmas dinner earlier has got me obsessing over the turkey that I'm going to be eating when this video is out. I'm curious, if you eat turkey, are you a breast person or are you a leg person? I'm definitely a breast guy myself. I do love a good turkey breast, but I'm not very fond of the turkey legs. I find the darker meat a little bit unappetizing. I'm not a big fan of the texture, and I'm not a big fan of the extra flavor. I'm very, very plain when it comes to my food tastes. I don't particularly like too stronger flavors in the meat. Although, give me all the spices in the world and I will be very, very happy. And now with the thoughts of food expunged from my brain, at least for now, we will start climbing the lighthouse. We're going to give Jasmine a very quick try. I'm not confident that we'll be able to get through her very easily at the moment, but you never know until you give it a go. So Amphi does now have its secret potion, allegedly. I'm still a little bit dubious of her, although I have just realised we are probably better taking on Lance and the Lake of Rage next, because I forgot we have Hidden Power Ice instead of Hidden Power Fire. I had the Giraffering routing on the brain, so let us now do the Mahogany Underground. And a few minutes of my life later, we did get through the underground section. We get the bath plug from Lance, as well as the Whirlpool HM, which is absolutely useless to us in this particular challenge. We'll do a very quick heal in this Pokemon Center so that we can set our TP spot to it for after we defeat Jasmine, and we'll move in to Price's gym. This is Price's Ice-type gym. We've got Psychic on the learn set, and that should be able to one-shot all of Border Douglas's shell Pokemon. And with that, we can take on Price. Price is our 6th gym leader together today. An Ice-type specialist with also a bit of a penchant for the water types, leads with Seal. Now, Return is starting to get to be a slightly respectable base power, but it's still not fantastic, and we got the attack drop there. How incredibly rude. Let us now use a couple of returns and hope that we get high rolls, which is exactly what happens. So we do defeat Price. We obtain the Glacier Badge in 35 minutes and 9 seconds. And now we have done everything we possibly can for Jasmine. I went to grab the soft sand, that also gave us a level. I've stuck in some more vitamins, and we'll see how we get on. This is Jasmine, our 7th gym leader together today. A Steel-type specialist leads with a pair of Magnemite. The Magnemite is not the issue, it is this Steelix. If we high roll, we should two-shot, but of course we don't high roll. She is getting into healing range now, and we do get the high rolls on our second turn. So we get through Jasmine on our first try in 37 minutes and 8 seconds. Now we get the dreaded call from Professor Elm. We're going to ignore it just for the time being. We're going to get back to Mahogany. and we'll make our way through the ice path. And now in the ice path today, we are going to pick up the Never Melt Ice because we've got Hidden Power Ice on top of our regular ice path items. We are going to be able to grab a protein and an iron. We're going to have to sell the protein though, because we maxed out our attack vitamins in preparation for the Jasmine battle. We'll get the iron and the PP up. We will then make our way into Blackthorn City proper. We'll go into the Pokemart as well to buy several max repels. And then there are a couple of bits and bobs that I like picking up south of Blackthorn City as well. We get the elixir, we get the nugget, we can get ourselves another PP up by going through this water here if we don't accidentally bypass it. And we can get ourselves a spare Purze Berry just in case we use our first. And now there is no more delaying it. We've got to get back to Goldenrod because we are now roughly about halfway through the Rocket Radio Tower section, and that means we have to take on the next rival battle. He is, of course, waiting for us here in the underground of the department store, and this time he's going to lead with Golbat. We'll use Psychic against Golbat, we'll knock it out in one, and up second is Magnemite. We'll use Earthquake against the Magnemite, that's guaranteed one-shot. We'll Earthquake the Haunter as well, and here comes Sneasel. We might as well continue Earthquaking, and then for the Feraligatr, I don't think Return's going to one-shot, but Water Gun does next to nothing at all. And we get through the fourth and penultimate rival battle. That means we've got to get through even more rockets now. I'm not going to make you sit through them. Let's skip to the end. And we are ready to take on the final rocket executive of the challenge. Return really is showing its power now. We are doing an awful lot of damage. Return is very close to its maximum power, and it is one-shotting a lot of Pokemon that come up in front of us. You've got to be incredibly bulky to withstand one of our Stantler's returns, and we're going to make that return even more powerful by getting the Pink Bow from Marie. There's no need to get the Sunny Day TM in this particular challenge, however we do need to get the radio card, so it is yes, yes, no, yes and no. That gets us the radio card, meaning that we can get to the western part of Kanto, and because we've already been to Blackthorn City, we can just fly straight there, and from there we'll go into the gym and we can prepare for Claire. This next cool trainer is going to give us a good indication of how much we will do against Claire's Dragonair. We one-shot the Seadra. I think that means we are guaranteed to one-shot the Dragonair with Return. We're probably not going to be able to one-shot the Kingdra, but we can possibly, providing we don't get a crit, do a nice 1-2 with our moves to make sure that we don't get Claire in healing looping range. We haven't even equipped the Pink Bow yet either, have we? Let us do that now so that we can guarantee any one-shots on any of the Pokemon that we have to face, barring that Kingdra. This is another good litmus test, and we easily knock out Cool Trainer Mike's level 37 Dragonair. Claire's title card coming in a little bit too early there. We'll redo the title card after we have defeated Lola, and that is right about now. Let us take on Claire with her actual title card. She is our final Johtonian gym leader, a Dragon-type specialist who leads with Dragonair. Dragonair number 1 goes down, Dragonair number 2 goes down, we grow to level 45, and Return is now at maximum power. The third Dragonair goes down. I don't think we're going to one-shot this Kingdra, so we'll start with a Psychic. She doesn't go for Smokescreen, that means we can finish it off with a Return. And we have defeated Claire. We'll rush into the Dragon's Den, and of course we get ambushed by this guy. We really don't like Cool Trainer Darren. I will never forgive him for what he did to our Magcargo. We are going to pick up the Max Elixir here. We'll go through the Whirlpool, and we'll enter into the Dragon Shrine. Here in the Dragon Shrine, we've got to answer a little survey. It's exactly the same as the radio card in 11212. That will trigger Claire to come into the gym and to try and assuage her guilt for not giving us the badge now. She'll give it to us in front of her elders, and then she'll also give us a useless TM that we will no doubt sell for a little bit of money. And now that we have all 8 Jotonian badges, we can start heading towards the Pokemon League. Before heading into the Cantonian routes, I did go into Mount Mortar to pick up the extra rare candy. That does mean we have 7 rare candies with us in the Pokemon League. I thought with us being in the slow experience group, it was probably a very good idea to pick up those extra candies that will give us that little bit of an extra boost for some of the trickier trainers that we may be facing in the league. We do have to take on a couple more trainers though before we get into the Pokemon League, and I like taking on Cool Trainer Jake as well. He gives me a good idea of how good our physical attack is with his Golduck and his Parasect. Now Beth here is a mandatory trainer, so we will have to take her on whether we want to or not, but luckily for us, she has a Rapidash that goes down in 1 hit. I always pick up this Max Elixir. I find it a very easy one to pick up, and it's not a great time loss. And with that, we are in Victory Road. We'll stick on a Repel, and we will pick up the HP up in this corner here. We'll be using that in preparation for the Karen fight. But before we can even think about Karen, we've got to take on the rival for one final time. This time he's going to lead with Sneasel. We'll one-shot the Sneasel with Return. Up second is going to be Golbat, and Return is another one-shot. That brings us on to the Magneton. We'll use Earthquake against the Magneton. Of course it's going to one-shot it. We'll Earthquake the Haunter as well, and his penultimate Pokemon is Kadabra. We've got a Return for the Kadabra as we grow to level 48, and then it's probably a range on this for Alligator. We didn't high roll, but we took no damage, and that means we have defeated the rival for one last time in 52 minutes and 32 seconds. We'll now grab our full restores, and we'll take a look at our stats going into the league. And we're shaping up like this. We're level 48 with 156 HP, holding the pink bow with Return, Earthquake, Psychic and Hidden Power Ice. Those are the 4 moves we chose at the start of this challenge. We've got 132 in attack, 97 in defense, 121 in special attack, 102 in special defense, and 116 in speed. Do remember those are just the out of battle stats. We'll get big badge boost buffs in battle when we take on Will. And as for predictions for this league, I think we'll have a fairly good time with it. There is a question mark over Bruno, but we do have Psychic to deal super effective damage, and if that Hitmontop goes underground, we have Earthquake for that. We will take some guaranteed damage from the Hitmonchan. I don't think we'll have an issue at Will or Koga. As for Karen, who knows? We never know with Karen. We've gotten quite lucky recently, so we're probably due some very bad luck at Karen, and then I think we'll be fine for Lance. So without any further ado, let's get into the league. Will is our first league member. He is a Psychic type specialist, leads with a Xatu. Return's capable of one-shotting the first Xatu. That means it's definitely going to knock out the Jinx, and we can move on to Executor. How much does Return do? Quite a lot, but a Reflect has gone up at the worst possible moments as well, because we are against this swearing Slowbro. Psychic doesn't hit too hard, the Reflect has faded, we knock it out with an unnecessary crit, and we can finish off the last Xatu as well. Growing to level 49 and defeating Will in 53-25. Up second is Koga, the Poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. We'll use a Psychic against the Ariados, make sure that we get the one shot, and we'll use a Psychic against Venomoth as well. Up third is going to be Fortress. We don't have anything too fantastic for this Fortress, so we're going to try using a set of Earthquakes here and hope it doesn't become a bomb, which it didn't. We'll Earthquake the Muck as well. It goes down in one shot. And the last Pokemon is Crobat. We'll try a Return. It didn't quite one-shot, but he is healing now. We get a crit on turn number 2, and we defeat Koga. Now this is going to be one of the tricky Elite Four members, I think. We will use an Elixir and a full restore, and we will take Bruno on. He is our third league member together today. He is a fighting type specialist, leads with Hitmontop. We one-shot the Hitmontop, which is very good to see. We one-shot the Hitmonlee as well. We grow up to level 50, and here comes the Hitmonchan. There's that guaranteed damage I was talking about. Now, I don't think we're going to one-shot this Machamp, so we'll use the Psychic and hope that Cross-Chop doesn't crit. It didn't crit, but it did a lot of damage, unfortunately. That is not what we wanted to see. We might have to use our extra rare candies here at Bruno. We'll give it one more try, see if Cross-Chop misses, and then we will have to potentially early candy against Bruno. Cross-Chop has missed. That means that Machamp will get into a healing loop, and that means we can eke an extra level out of our rare candies. We'll be able to get up to level 57 for Karen. And that's what we're going to do right about now. We'll use a full restore, we'll then use all 7 of our rare candies, getting ourselves up to 57. We will hold on to the Bitterberry in case of confusion. We'll then use a HP up to try and prevent Sand Attack, and we can engage her in battle. This is Karen. She is our final Elite Four member, a Dark-type specialist who leads with Umbreon. I don't think we're going to one-shot the Umbreon, but we do because we crit. The HP up strategy was not needed because we just obliterated the Umbreon there. We can one-shot the Vileplume, one-shot the Gengar as well. We can one-shot the Murkrow, and that will just leave the Houndoom left to go. We get rid of it in one hit as well, and we are through Karen on our first attempt. Let us now make our way to Lance. He is the liar with the flyers, and he's going to lead with Gyarados. Now, it's probably a range on this Gyarados, and we high roll, so we get rid of it in one shot. We've got a quad super effective Hidden Power Ice for the level 47 and the level 50 Dragonite, actually. And we can also use it on the Scaradactyl. I was going to say not quite a one-shot, but I was proven to be a liar. Return will one-shot the Charizard, and that just leaves the last Dragonite left to go. We'll use Hidden Power, and we defeat Lance very, very easily. That gives us our last time of 56 minutes and 51 seconds. We got another sub-hour league, and that gives us our final Hall of Fame time for this challenge of 57 minutes and 7 seconds. Let's now take a look at the midpoint leaderboards. And our last time of 56 minutes and 51 seconds puts us in second place on our 4 moves midpoint leaderboard. If we now take a look at all of our crystal challenges at the midpoint, we are in 44th place, in between Gardevoir and Dugong. This is only half of the story though. We still have another 8 gym badges and the red fight left to come, and anything could change in that time. So I tell you what, don't you dare go anywhere. Christmas dinner can wait, because Kanto is next. And now we're rejoining the action as we always do outside the Pokémon Center here in Vermilion City. And the first thing we'll do in Kanto is pick up a rare candy from the chairman of the Pokémon Fan Club. And with that safely tucked away in our pack for another challenge, we'll make our way in to our first Cantonian gym. I think we'll be absolutely fine doing our standard Cantonian routing on this particular challenge. So that means we'll start here at Lieutenant Surge. We'll then go to Erica in Celadon City. We'll go down to Fuchsia City for Janine, back to Saffron for Sabrina, up to Cerulean for Misty, across to Pewter for Brock, down to the Seafoam Islands for Blaine, and then we'll finish off with Blue. We've got a long way to go though until we get to Blue. We have another 7 gym battles to get on with. We're already very far through the first one. We are sweeping here against Lieutenant Surge. There's nothing at all he can do. And we obtain our first Cantonian badge in 58 minutes and 44 seconds. I reckon if we get lucky, we might be able to get Erica's badge in the sub-hour mark as well, but we will have to go like the clappers. We want to pick up the leftovers here, and I do want to pick up the PP up from the bush. And now we can make our way in to our second Cantonian gym. This is Erica's gym. She's a grass type specialist, so it's just as well we've got Hidden Power Ice on the learn set. We might not even need it, but it is good to have in our back pocket. Now, because she's got so many bloomin' mandatory trainers guarding her gym, I don't think we're going to get a second sub-hour Cantonian badge, but I think we'll be getting it at around about the 101.35 to 101.40 mark, if I know my timings correctly, which I should do by now because I've been doing these challenge runs for over 3 years. Let's now engage her in battle and we'll see how we get on. This is Erica, our second Cantonian gym leader. She's a grass type specialist led with Tangler that's already gone down. We grow to level 60 and we'll one-shot the jump off next. That brings us on to Victory Bell. It's another return for another one-shot. And then the final Pokemon is Blossom. I majorly overestimated there, didn't I, how long it takes to get Erica's badge. 101.10 for our second badge. And we'll have another quick badge to come as well now, because we can pop down the cycling road and we can take on Janine next in Fuchsia City. Now, she doesn't have a mandatory trainer, so to speak, but we do have a mandatory blocking the way to Fuchsia from this direction. It's a shame that the boundary for Fuchsia is so far in, because otherwise we'd be able to sneakily fly past him and not take him on. This is Janine. She's our third Cantonian leader. She is a poison type specialist and she's going to be very, very easy. We're just going to hold down the return button. We'll probably get the badge in around about 10 seconds time. All depends on whether she uses the dire hit or not. She does this time. We grow to level 60. We don't quite grow to 61, but we do get the soul badge in a 10109. That means we can now head back to Saffron City, and we've got to take a trip through the rock tunnel. And now that we are through the other side of the rock tunnel, we'll have a little chat with the manager of the power plant. Unfortunately, somebody has stolen his machine part on Christmas Day as well. How very, very mean. We'll have to keep an eye out for it. For now, though, we're going to go back into Saffron City, and we're going to take on another gym leader. This time it's Sabrina. She is a psychic type specialist. I feel like we should be a psychic type specialist with Stantler, but we're not. And she leads with Espeon. We one-shot the Espeon, out comes Mr. Mime. We know we can get rid of that in one shot as well. And we will one-hit the Alakazam. That gets us our next Cantonian badge, our fourth in fact, in a time of 102.49. Let's get out of here and start heading north into Cerulean. Here in Cerulean, we need to pop into the gym so that we can get the rocket out of the gym, so that we can eventually get Misty into the gym. It's all very convoluted, and it's time for our favourite Nugget Bridge. And on this Nugget Bridge, my question to you is, what is the best or worst Christmas gift you have ever received? One of the best Christmas gifts I ever received was Pokémon Crystal back in the early 2000s. My first Pokemon game was Gold. I got that for my birthday, I believe, in 2001. And then I got Crystal pretty soon after it. And I've got to say, even though I love Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Crystal is the best way to enjoy Generation 2. At least in my opinion. I love all of the quality of life additions. As for the worst Christmas present, I'm going to keep it under wraps. Just in case the person who gave me that present is watching, I don't want to offend anybody by saying what the worst Christmas present was, but it is something that I didn't really get much use out of, and it broke the very next day. But now we can take on Misty. She is our next Cantonian gym leader, a water-type specialist, leads with Golduck. And we one-shot the Golduck. If we one-shot the Golduck, we're probably going to one-shot the Quagsire. That was a critical hit, though, so we'll never know if that was natural. We do one-shot the Lapras, and if we get rid of the Lapras, we get rid of the Starmie. That is Misty all defeated. Cascade badge acquired in a 105.14. We'll pick up the machine part, and we will now head back to the power plant to return it to its rightful owner and hopefully save Christmas for everybody here in Kanto. And I'm wondering actually, where do the people in Johto get their power from? There's no power plants in Johto, so I can only assume that they have electric Pokemon in every house, generating the electricity for them. Now that the machine part is returned, we can go to Lavender Town. We will chat with the director of the radio tower here, get ourselves the X-Men card, and that means we can go back to Vermilion City, and we can get rid of this pesky Snorlax onto the Pokeflute channel because they've upgraded from Generation 1. We'll run away from it, and we'll make our way through the Diglett Cave. On the other end, unfortunately today, we are going to have to bypass 3Drill. We don't have time to battle him, and instead we'll go straight into our next gym together. This is Brock's Rock-type gym. We have no need for return here, so we don't need to use an elixir, and instead we will take him straight on. Brock is our third from last Cantonian gym leader, and he leads with Graveler. We'll secure the KO by using Hidden Power, even though it is a super effective move. Want to make sure that we absolutely one-shot all of these rock types. We'll swap to Earthquake though for the Omastar. That is super effective against the Omastar. Back to Hidden Power for the Onix. It has no special defense. And then we'll go back to Earthquake once more for the Kabutops. That's Brock defeated and the Boulder Badge in 1 hour, 7 minutes and 3 seconds. And now we can start heading south towards Cinnabar Island and the Seafoam Islands, where we'll have a chat with Blue to make sure that he goes back to his gym. These Cantonian gym leaders do like being out of their proper gym location, and yes, I am including Blaine in that because he's not on Cinnabar Island. If the Pokemon Center can remain open, surely he can open up a gym as well, instead of going to a place with no fly points. He is our penultimate gym leader of the challenge, Fire-type Specialist, leads with Magcargo. Magcargo goes down in 1, we'll use Earthquake against the Bumphead Fireduck as well, and we will use a return against the Rapidash. 3 one-shots gives us a victory against Blaine. Volcano Badge in 108.14. Let's get ourselves back to Viridian City now, and we'll head into Blue's gym. Now I am umming and ahhing between the leftovers and the pink bow for this battle. I think we'll start with the leftovers, and we'll see if we do need to increase our damage output. So this is Blue. He is our final gym leader of the challenge, and he's going to lead with Pidgeot. We'll use a return against the Pidgeot, and it's not a one-shot. Maybe we should have been holding the pink bow after all. We are absolutely able to one-shot the Alakazam though, and up next is Rhydon. Hidden Power may one-shot if we get very lucky, which we do. We grow to 64, and up next is Gyarados. We're going to use a Hidden Power in to return there. We wanted to get the Rain Dance up, because that will mean that both Executor and Arcanine will have a much worse time of it. The Arcanine is the last Pokemon we've got. I don't think we're going to be able to one-shot this thing with return, but we do two-shot. He doesn't even bother to heal. And we obtain the Earth Badge in 1 hour, 9 minutes and 22 seconds. That means we can use a full restore here. We'll use a Max Elixir, and we can fly over to Pallet Town, where we will have a little chat with Professor Oak. He is going to unlock Silver Cave and also have a whinge about the fact that we only have 1 Pokemon in our decks. He's probably wondering how on earth we got here with just 1 Pokemon in the decks. He doesn't know about the HM items. So now we can go back to Viridian, and we only have 1 more item we need to pick up before we are done and ready for Red. And the final item we are picking up, of course, is this rare candy. We will use this opportunity to dump our last 3 rare candies into our Stantler, so we're going to be going into Red at level 67. And now that we are through the darkened room, we'll make our way to in front of Red. He is our final trainer of the challenge, and he leads with Pikachu. We can one-shot the Pikachu, so we are only dealing with 5 Pokemon. Now, how about this Espeon? Reflectors up, that isn't great, but we move on to the Snorlax. I reckon we'll need a crit or the luck to not get paralyzed from Body Slam to get through this Snorlax. I think we need to high roll the Espeon to stand a chance of getting through, really. We are through the Pikachu though, so we don't need to worry about that. Onto the Espeon, and once again, Reflect is up. I reckon it's a very, very small chance of a one-shot against this Espeon, you know. Maybe we could go and try and get another level. That might be the play. It might end up being quicker than trying to brute force this battle. We do have the King's Rock though. That is going to mean that it's not going to be a one-shot against the Espeon, but we could get a lucky flinch instead. We'll give it a try. Anything's worth a shot, really, because we're not getting through in one hit, unfortunately. Let's see if we can flinch this Snorlax as well. If we can flinch the Snorlax, we'll be in business here. We didn't flinch on turn 1. We didn't flinch on turn 2. Maybe the King's Rock is not the right play after all. We have been really struggling with Red, actually, on the last few battles. I don't know what's happened. It seems to me like Red has suddenly kicked himself into gear. Does this King's Rock even work? We're not getting any flinches whatsoever. I doubt we're going to get through on this one, but we will keep on trying. You never know, stranger things have happened. We could flinch this Zard. Even a crit doesn't KO. I'm going back to the pink bow. And after getting a level as well, we will re-equip the pink bow to see if we can now get through at level 68. So once again, this is Red. He is the final trainer of the challenge, and he leads with Pikachu. We one-shot the Pikachu, and we move on to the Espeon. How are the ranges now? We one-shot this time. What about the Snorlax? Can we two-shot this thing? It goes for Amnesia, it's in the yellow, and we knock it out. This is much, much better now. Is the Venusaur going to go for Sunny Day? It is. That does mean we're in a slight bit of danger for the Charizard. We've got to hope that we don't get burnt by the Zard, which we don't. We are potentially in with a chance of defeating Red now, but Blizzard has hit with a blooming crit. Let's try again. That is so blooming frustrating. Right at the end of the challenge, we get knocked out and we range the Espeon this time. Let's hope for some better luck. One-shot the Pikachu. We know we can do that. On to the Espeon. We get rid of it in one. Here comes Snorlax. We are able to two-shot the Snorlax, and we'll move on to the Venusaur again. Let's hope it goes for Solar Beam. It doesn't. It goes for Sunny Day. And that brings us on to the Charizard. We are able to one-shot with a critical hit, so I think it is now all in the bag. We get through the Blastoise in just 2 shots, and we defeat Red in a time of 1 hour, 16 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's take a look at the leaderboards. And that time of 1 hour, 16 minutes and 40 seconds puts us in 2nd place on our 4 moves leaderboard. If we now take a look at all of our Crystal challenges, you can see that we are in 46th place overall, in between Walrein and Dugong, so we have finally split up the 2 water-ice type Pokemon. But with that, we are done for another challenge. So I really hope you've enjoyed this special Christmas Stantler challenge. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe, of course, if you want to see more videos just like this. If you want to see the videos a little bit early, then you can always consider joining the channel membership and becoming a HM friend. But until next time, I will say thank you all so much for watching once again. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your holiday season, and I will catch you all very, very soon when we're going back to Supermon.